Thank you for coming to today's new student virtual orientation session for international students. My name is Maggie Williams, and I'm the Assistant Director for International Student Engagement, and I will be the primary or Principal Designated School Official, PDSO, beginning July 1st. I'll be sharing a presentation with you all to help you get acquainted with the school and the resources that we have here, and also the processes that you'll be undertaking prior to your arrival on campus for the early orientation session from August 7th to 11th, as well as the full orientation session following that. This is information that some of y'all may have already received through the virtual session that we held on May 21st, but there's some updates to this, and also it's important information. So we felt that it was valuable to just reiterate it and give you all some of you all a refresher. So go ahead and share. All right. So first of all, welcome to UNCSA. We're thrilled to have you all here. And just a little bit, so international student engagement is housed within the Division of Institutional Engagement, which serves to foster a culture of belonging at UNCSA, as you can see. So this is just a brief video to help you all get acquainted with the office and the division, and see what opportunities there are for connections and belonging during your time here.
At UNCSA, students not only prepare for their artistic careers, they also have access to a wide range of support services and leadership development programs to help them grow both personally and professionally. Whether you're becoming a fighting pickle for high school, for college, or graduate studies, we strive to create a clear path to success for all students, free of unnecessary barriers. Helping students succeed is about identifying potential roadblocks before they become a problem. We collaborate with students, faculty, and staff to create a campus environment that's empathetic and responsive to everyone's needs. For example, the Office of International Programs provides support in the areas of visa compliance, adjusting to life in the U.S., and resource referrals, which are many of the services needed to thrive abroad. From UNCSA Pride to the Disability and Neurodivergence Artists Collective and everything in between, UNCSA has student-led organizations that celebrate individuality, promote belonging, and establish connections that allow artists to push the boundaries of their craft. Our high school student engagement programs are designed to foster an environment where students from all backgrounds feel valued, respected, and empowered to express their authentic selves. The coordinator of leadership development collaborates with student organizations to foster student success and support. A core value at UNCSA is fostering interdisciplinary work through the arts. We encourage students to immerse themselves in campus-sponsored events, such as the annual Food Fest hosted by the International Student Association, the fashion show produced by artists of color, movie nights sponsored by Asians Come Together, campus lecture series, and more. These activities are a great way to complement students' studies. As you join the Fighting Pickle community, we celebrate, affirm, and respect your unique voice and perspective as a person and as an artist. Most importantly, we are here to facilitate your success. I invite you to connect with us. We are located on the 3rd floor of Haynes Student Commons, right across from the Pickle Jar. See you soon.
All right. So that's a little bit about the Division of Institutional Engagement, and that'll serve as a transition into the next point. So to introduce myself, my name is Maggie Williams. I'm the Assistant Director of International Student Engagement, and I am currently a designated school official. So that means that I assist with elements of visa compliance here at UNCSA. and I coordinate the new student orientation. So you'll probably receive additional communications, and you already have received some communications that I have sent out through Slate and items like that. So I'll be providing additional information. That also means that I'm a point of contact if you have any questions about orientation. And on campus, within the Division of Institutional Engagement, I offer referrals to campus and community resources for our international students. So if you have any questions while you are a student here, or during summer, just any point in time where you as a student require additional resources, I'm a point of contact to help access whatever may be useful to you. And I'm the advisor for the International Student Association as well, which you saw just now during this video. That is one of our many student organizations that we have on campus. And this organization in particular, as you can guess by the name, is made up entirely of international students. So that's not just students on F1 visas, that's also students who may have permanent residency, but identify very closely with an additional citizenship that they may possess, or other international backgrounds that they find very essential to their identities. And starting July 1st, I will also be the primary designated school official. So that means at that point, I will be the primary point of contact for elements of visa compliance, not just one of the points of contact. I will be the primary point of contact, and that's my email right there. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out to me for anything. And then another important contact to note is Rob Myers, the interim director of admissions. So he is the current primary designated school official, as we're in a bit of a transitionary phase. And he will serve as the primary point of contact for visa compliance until July 1st. So anything between now and July 1st relating to visa compliance, reach out to Rob, consider CCing me just so I can be aware of the situation. But he's going to be the primary point of contact for visa compliance until that date. So he's going to be the key person to contact if you have any questions. And then following that date, he will still be a DSO. He will still be a valuable resource, especially as the interim director of admissions. But starting July 1st, I will be your primary point of communication for those items. And there's his email as well, if you are interested in reaching out to him or if you have any questions for him. So our agenda following, so I have a little bit of a to-do list for you, just like in our previous orientation session about visa compliance and then about orientation. I have a few additional notes for you. Once again, a refresher is always helpful, and we'll have some time for questions following that. So for visa compliance, some essential things to do right now. Check your emails regularly. Your email is going to be where you receive the bulk of your information about your visa and the subsequent processes. So please check your emails regularly, especially your school email and your personal email. Make sure that you're checking both. Reach out to Rob Myers or myself if you have any additional questions, especially bearing in mind the dates, but generally both of us will be able to assist you even within the changing time frames. So, as far as your visa paperwork goes, just to review the process, first, you should have received a certificate of financial responsibility form with instructions upon your acceptance to UNCSA. You need to prove that you have sufficient funding to attend UNCSA, since that is a portion of your I-20 application. So you have to verify that you do have sufficient funding. And bear in mind also, there are going to be additional expenses outside of that. So just to your best ability, keep in mind additional items that you may require funding for while you are at school. So that may be anything from planning for transportation for holidays to the dorms do close during the summer. And there is an option to remain if you must in one of the dorms. But just bear in mind that these additional expenses will pop up, and it's good to know that you do have the funding for those kinds of emergencies. And then following that, once you've turned that in along with a copy of your passport, you'll receive an email with your I-20, and you can use that I-20 or the physical copy that you'll receive in the mail to complete the F1 visa application, which will be used to secure an F1 visa appointment at your embassy or consulate of choice. There may be an additional application fee, but check with your local embassy to make sure that there are not any unexpected fees that you will need to pay ahead of time. So just double check with them prior. With the majority of things like this, communication is key. So just make sure that you're in touch with all the relevant parties to make sure that everything is in line. You'll then pay the SEVIS fee online through fmjfee.com, which is also called the I-901 fee. And then you will attend your scheduled visa appointment. And I've noted here, bring all receipts of completed applications and fees with you to this appointment. That's very important to demonstrate that you've already provided the funding for the necessary things. Ideally, this will be done in your home country, but can technically be done from any US embassy or consulate that you can access. So if you must attend an appointment in a nearby country, that may be feasible, and that's something to reach out to myself, Rob, myself or Rob about to discuss if you do find yourself in a situation where it is challenging to schedule an appointment. So the process to expect from there, once you have the US visa, you'll be able to enter the country within 30 days of your initial program start date listed on your I-20. Bear this in mind as you're planning your travel to the United States, that there is a set time period for you to arrive, so don't try to arrive early. If you do arrive early, you'll have to do it on a visitor visa, and that gets incredibly complicated. I would highly, highly recommend that you try to schedule the time within the frame leading up to your arrival date to arrive on your F1 visa. And then if you run into problems and expect that you might be entering the country after your program start date, let a DSO know so they can try to help. So there are processes that we can go through to try to assist you in that case, but once again, communication is key. So onto orientation. So the arrival date, August 7th. If you must request an alternative arrival date, contact me by July 1st to let me know. And then in-person early orientation from August 7th to 11th is mandatory. If you require an exception, because we've had a couple cases that have required an exception so far, please reach out to me. We're not unreasonable here. It's all very important information, but I understand that there are other conflicts that may interfere. So if that is the case, please just let me know. We'll be in touch and we'll find a way to help you access the necessary information outside of this time frame. And then please, 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 if you have not already, explore some flight options and notify me by July 1st if you would like shuttle services from Charlotte. We will be providing those. We have found a way to not charge a fee to students for this service, but it will only be from Charlotte. That's significant. We found that typically is the cheapest arrival point anyway for international flights, and it's also one of the most accessible. So that's an area where I advise you to look anyway. But yes, we will also be providing this service. So I'd highly encourage you to utilize this service. And shuttles on the 7th will be departing Charlotte at 10, 2, and 6. So 3 different points with a staff member waiting in the airport with students as they arrive between those departure times. So that way you can ensure you will have a point of contact. You don't have to worry beyond arriving at baggage. And yeah, you can feel secure with your arrival process. And the shuttles, once again, are only available from Charlotte. There are a couple additional airports in the area. So in addition to Charlotte, there's RDU, the Raleigh-Durham Airport, and this is also called Piedmont Triad International Airport, or PTI, but the code is GSO. So here's some other transportation options for the airports aside from Charlotte, or even also from Charlotte if you didn't want to utilize the shuttle service. So you can take something like Amtrak or Greyhound, shuttles through the airports, just additional shuttle services. From Greensboro especially, I would recommend something like Uber, Lyft, or a different private car service because it's not as far as, say, Charlotte or Raleigh. So that may function well as an alternative if you really, really desire an arrival in Greensboro. But if you have any questions about your arrival to UNCSA or you'd like additional resources, please, please, please reach out to me because I do have those for you. Prior to your arrival, please try to clear your holds if you can. If not, we'll have the resources for you to do it. It's just going to assist with kind of taking a stress load off during your orientation process. So your holds are going to be found in Easy Arts. You'll be able to see the number and variety of holds on your account in there. We'll be sharing this slideshow in the coming days, and you can use this link to log in, but they're found in Easy Arts. If you have any questions, because health services holds are typically the most challenging to clear and tend to be the most, I'd say, abundant for international students. Contact Melissa Brown for general questions. Her email's listed here, or Shelby, and you can see her email listed there for any questions that you may have about vaccines. And yeah, those staff members will be able to guide you through any difficulties that you may face in clearing your health services holds. Try your best to complete the necessary vaccines upon prior to arriving in the US if you can. There will be additional resources to help you access places to get the necessary vaccines once you arrive, but those resources will be limited. So if you are capable, please try to get the necessary vaccines before your arrival. And then for an updated CCE or transcript, if you got a credential evaluation done before you graduated, you will need to submit another one with your final grades and degree equivalency earned. If you'd studied in the US currently, you just need to provide an updated official transcript with final grades and degree. If you have any questions about those processes, I would highly recommend that you reach out to either your admissions counselor or Rob Myers. And then an important point for your arrival is you will have the opportunity to mail items in for your dorms prior to your arrival. So that way, when you arrive, you'll be able to pick up your packages and have everything that you need. You won't have to come in with 10 suitcases and hope for the best. Do your best to utilize this ability. It's going to make your arrival process a lot smoother, and it's going to make your travel process a lot smoother. So after your arrival, there will be a shopping trip on August 9th, and there will be an optional shopping trip on August 11th for you to obtain any toiletries, any other items that you may need. But it will be in your best interest to try to send in your dorm items to the school through the mail service prior to your arrival. And in the case that you are unable to have, something like essential toiletries, toothpaste, anything of that nature, we will be able to provide gift bags of essential toiletries to help hold you over until the shopping trips that occur later in the week. But it will be to your best advantage to pack lightly for your arrival to ensure ease of travel, especially with the shuttles. And you will receive additional information with details like a shipping address in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out for those as well. Some additional notes. Consider having an emergency contact in the United States, especially if you already know somebody in the United States who may function as a good emergency contact. Please feel free to utilize them. An important thing to note is that UNCSA does not offer host families. If you wanted to find a host family, you would have to go through an external service. So I would highly, highly recommend, if you know of an effective contact, somebody who's reliable, somebody trustworthy, please try to utilize them as an emergency contact in the States. Another item, bear in mind that your responsibilities are as a student first. So please, 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 and this goes for now, this goes for while you are studying as a student at UNCSA, do not take unauthorized employment. If you are caught by a DSO working without authorization, the DSO is required to report it through SEVIS as a failure to maintain F1 status, and your SEVIS record will be terminated. You will have to withdraw from the school, and in that case, more often than not, you will have to leave the country. Bear in mind, academics must take precedence over any employment opportunities. That's the nature of the visa because it is a student visa. So, it can be challenging to refuse employment, but it absolutely is in your best interest. Please do not take unauthorized employment. And then if you have any questions, reach out to Rob Myers or myself. If you would like a summary of how to apply for CPT or OPT employment opportunities once you arrive on campus, especially as a graduate student, and we will go over all of these things more in depth. This is more just for you to note right now. But further down the line, if you'd like to apply for practical training, either curricular or in fewer cases optional, you can contact me for a summary of the processes for employment or for on-campus employment as well, because that is an option that is available to students on an F1 visa. All right. If you all have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. And I will also say, if there are any questions that are more personal in nature, please feel free to email myself and or Rob, and we'll be able to answer you as accurately as possible. Yeah, but in the meantime, if there are any questions pending, especially about orientation or anything of that nature, please feel free to send something in the chat. All right. All right, so incoming graduate students check into their dorms on August 13th. Is this the same for international graduate students? So, or can we move into housing on August 7th? So you absolutely may move into housing on August 7th. And yeah, we've coordinated accordingly with Residence Life to ensure that you all are able to. Another thing to bear in mind is you will use school IDs to access the dorms. So you will receive a communication from the One Card office well in advance of your arrival. Submit your picture prior to arrival. And I can send an additional note about that as well. And Dr. MC, it says that you would like to answer.
I was trying to move it over to answer. Sorry.
Okay. Perfectly fine. Yeah, you're absolutely able to move in on August 7th. And please, if you're able, submit a photo to the One Card office prior, so that way you can pick up your One Card when you arrive on the 7th. Absolutely, thank you. All right, do we have any additional questions? All right. Let's see. Okay, which Student Blue insurance address should I use as an international student? So I would recommend reaching out to health services and asking them about that. Oh, thank you, Erin. So Erin just sent a link to upload One Card photos. So use that link in the chat to upload your One Card photo prior to your arrival. I would recommend that you reach out to Melissa Brown at the health center and ask her about the insurance question specifically. Insurance goes through them, and those holds pertaining to insurance also are housed through the health center. So yeah, I'd recommend reaching out to Melissa Brown about that. Thank you. All right, does anybody else have any more questions? And once again, your ability to ask questions is not limited to this session. So please feel free to reach out to myself or Rob at any time. And we'll be happy to either answer your questions or direct you to somebody who will be able to. Thank you very much, Erin. And yeah, Sam, Erin just shared Melissa's contact information in the chat as well. All right. And I'm not seeing any more questions at this time. So thank you all very much for attending. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you on campus. Yeah, you have all of our contact information. Once again, feel free to reach out. Cannot reiterate that enough.